Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 166. We are recapping the 450s in this round 5 race of the Monster Energy Supercross season at San Diego. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Petco Park. You forgot to say that.
Yeah, Petco Park, where the San Diego Padres play.
The Fathers.
Yes, the Fathers play. The Spanish translation for that. Thank you, Claudio.
That would be the English translation for that, actually. So.
Okay, well, from Spanish to English. So great job on that. The advantages of having a bilingual co-host. That is really showing in full force right now. But anyways, we are going to talk about the 450s at the San Diego Stadium of the Padres, or the Fathers. And it was a mutter, obviously, as we talked about. It was wet. It was sticky. The rain really came down. And we kind of have a lot to talk about with this race.
Yes. We got a lot of notes, a lot of news, a lot.
Yep. It's kind of some injury news, too. And just to kick it off from the bat, Justin Hill, he had a crash in qualifying and hurt like his ribs or something. And he had to go to the hospital. No official word on what's up with him. But he did not race the rest of the night. No,
he was out from the beginning. Speaking of qualifiers who got delayed due to the weather.
Yes.
And a little bit upsetting because, we sat there all day waiting for it and they didn't even show it. So.
Yep. Right before the riders go out, NBC is like, thanks for watching. And we're just like, what? What happened? Like, it was weird. They still brought in like Ricky and Ralph and the whole crew to do nothing pretty much. It's like, what is this? What's happening right now?
What they did all night. They didn't do much. They just kind of talked and find people to interview. And thank God they had all these injured riders sitting around there.
They did have Anderson on there, so that was cool. And
they had Anderson. They had
everyone.
Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart was on there. He said he might come back for the last couple rounds. Anderson, he didn't close the door on that, but it sounds like he's not going to come back the last 2 rounds. He said his focus was Hangtown. Doesn't look like he's coming back, but Dean Wilson, they also had an interview with him, and he said that they asked him what tent he was under, and he said, same deal. So, interesting.
Yeah, that's a little bit upsetting. They're playing with his feelings, bro. That's not cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Maybe especially if Anderson's not sure if he's coming back or not, and Dean Wilson doesn't want to be a fill-in rider. He wants to finish the season off with a team. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what's happening there, but whatever. Yeah. If something's going to happen, they need to figure it out for this weekend. The season's going by fast.
And I wonder if, and you mentioned the weekend, I wonder if it has something to do with that, because as we know, Zach Osborne is supposed to be coming back this coming weekend for Minneapolis. Yeah. And I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Yeah, like you said, he's just probably not happy about being a fill-in rider. And yeah, he said nothing has changed. Same deal.
That's right. So let's jump into these qualifying times. Eli Tomac was your fastest with a 58.6. Pretty fast. Cooper Webb was your second fastest with a 59.8. So Tomac was a whole second faster than second place. Again, I'm not sure if it matters that much because they only did a couple laps and it was super muddy and it just seemed like it didn't really matter that much.
Yeah, something that I wanted to point out, we talked about the changes that we could make for the race to be a little bit safer or a little bit more fun. And we talked about the whoops, how they could be changed, and they did.
Yep, they did. They did change the whoops, and it looks like they cut down some of the faces on some of those triples too. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
For real. Another thing that I wanted to mention, and I thought it was hilarious, you're probably going to kick out of this. Daniel Blair and Jim Hawley, they have a lot more faith in Tyler Ettingknapp making the main before Adam Ettingknapp.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite funny.
Yeah, I don't know if they were just trying to find stuff to talk about, but they definitely did say that. They definitely said that. So anyways, yeah, Marvin Musquin was up there, Blake Baggett, Justin Bogle, Justin Barsha, Vince Freese, Tyler Bowers, Plessinger, Savacci, Dean Wilson had the 14th fastest time. Chad Reed, 15th fastest. As we said, Justin Hill, he got hurt. He was actually the 13th fastest. Yep. But let's just go ahead and jump into this 450 Heat 1 and talk about some of the stuff that went down here.
Dude, and just looking at this like qualifying times, it just shows you how stacked this freaking class is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have people like you just said, Chad Reed in 15th, Justin Hill 13th, Ken Roczen 12th, Plessinger 9th.
Yeah, it's still a stacked class, even though some riders are starting to get hurt, but we're going to get into some of that here really quick. But let's start off with this 450 Heat 1. Savacci or Baggett had the whole shot. I'm not really sure which one it was. They were literally right next to each other. Who knows who got it? But Roczen was there, Brayton was there, Webb, Politelli. They all had good jumps. But Savacci and Baggett, they were like both on the inside of that like second or third turn, and then Roczen just rails the outside, passes them both, takes over first, and checks out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how this happened. Savacci was actually honored with the whole shot on that one, and yeah, but it don't matter because Roczen just went bop bop, got them both.
Yeah, there were, as every moto, there was a bunch of riders down, two covered in mud to really tell who they were. One of them might have been Bubba Pauly, because he was showing up at like last place at the start of this race. We saw Cooper Webb. He made a nice little pass on Baggett for third place, just hitting that double.
Yeah, he committed to the pass for sure.
That's right. And as the night went on, we saw the 250s doing a lot of the doubles and the finish line and the triples and the finish line jump. But as the night went on, it was just like less and less jumping because it really started to get sloppy out there.
Yeah. Another one that was down on a really bad start was Justin Barcia.
Yeah, Barcia did not have a great start in this. Wilson was up there. He falls back to 11th. Brayton also was running like in the top 7 or 8, and he fell back to 12th. And there was just so much movement happening. It seemed like everybody fell over. So it was just like all this math is going into where everyone's at. And as we said, they're all covered in mud, so you can't even see them. So it was just like everybody would do good, then they'd fall, then they'd catch back up. So it was just like who could catch up to sooner before this finish line.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we said, Roczen dominated. He did a little trick over the finish line, the little one-hander, one-footer kind of thing.
Yeah, a little hand-foot swag.
Yeah, what's the name of that trick?
I don't know. One-hander, one-footer?
Yeah, I think they have a name. It's like, I don't know. But I was trying to think of that. It was cool. You got it. I said in one of our previous episodes, if you win, you have to do a trick or you get penalized.
Maybe that's what he's doing. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, I have to do a trick. So he did, even if it's just the one-footer, one-hander, that's cool. Yeah, so he did his trick. He won. Cooper Webb was able to get second. Joey Savacci in third. Justin Barcia fourth. Blake Baggett fifth. Cole Martinez sixth place. Tyler Bauer seventh. Dean Wilson eighth. Cade Ottenreith and Pauly and Gardner and Justin Brayton all go into the LCQ, kind of. All of those riders except one. And that one is Justin Brayton. He actually hurt his thumb this race. So, I mean, he finished pretty good. I mean, I don't know about pretty good, but he got 12th. He was able to finish 12th. So, decided not to race the LCQ. And his night was over after this race.
Yeah, jumping into this heat number 2 for the 450 class. As we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Justin Hill out for the heat and for the rest of the night. That gave the 951 of Ryan Surratt the opportunity to race the night show. And yeah, we had Plessinger with the whole shot. Followed by
the Forest Racer.
Yes, with with Tomac and Kyle Chisholm right behind him. Bogle was right there as well. Muskin, we had a little mistake and almost take Chad out with him at the start. I don't know if you saw that.
Dude, that was crazy. Literally, as soon as the gate dropped, his bike just is swapped out so like he hit his own foot blocks. Like he wiped out his own foot. He didn't even get he was completely sideways before he was even halfway off the gate, before he was even a quarter way off the gate. And
yeah, he hit Chad pretty good. And I feel like, why are you even using those steps, dude? You're tall, right?
Well, whatever he did didn't work, that's for sure. Because he slid. He just, like you said, he slid right into Chad Reed before he even got off the gate. So
yes. So Bogle actually makes a pass for the lead over Aaron Plessinger. Well, that didn't last long because he made a mistake.
Yeah, Plessinger went like super high in that corner and just said like, hey, come and pass me, Bogle. Just take it. It didn't look very aggressive at all. He was like riding those outsides.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, Bogle, he ended up falling in the whoops. And
well, in the rollers.
Yeah. He ended up falling in the rollers. And then he even fell again after that. He moved to like at least fifth or something.
Muskin and Chisholm the opportunity to go by him.
Dude, did you notice that Chisholm like straight up passed Eli? For third place.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what?
Meanwhile, Tomac and Plessinger are battling up front like if it was a main event. Like, they were just going at it. I feel like this heat race right here was a little bit more exciting than the actual main event because it got so sloppy by then. But yeah, they were battling it out, and, well, Tomac ended up getting the lead on the final lap.
Yep.
And
Plessinger leaving those insides open again, just letting people pass him. But I guess he's just playing the smart game, you know?
Yeah, he's just playing the Forest Rider, the Forest Rider game.
The Forest Rider game, yeah, take the outsides. Yeah. Let people pass you, you'll make it into the main. So he did.
Exactly.
He did make it into the main. That's pretty much all that happened this race.
Yep.
Tomac won, Aaron Plessinger got second, Marvin Musquin got third, Kyle Chisholm got fourth, Justin Bogle got fifth, Heath Harrison got sixth, Chad Reed got seventh. My bad, legend Chad Reed got seventh.
Yeah, get it right.
Vince Freezy, one of your fantasy picks, got eighth, who I know you were concerned because they didn't talk about him for not even one breath. And Cole Seeley getting that final transfer position. So Ryan Brees, Cheyenne Harmon, Ronnie Stewart, Ben LeMay, Adam Entignap, they're all going to the LCQ.
Yeah, legend Chad Reed is also my fantasy pick, and Aaron Plessinger was also a fantasy pick for me. So, yeah.
I mean, our show picks were actually pretty good for Aaron Plessinger. We pretty much nailed that. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But let's jump into this 450 LCQ. So yeah, as we mentioned, Justin Brayton was not lining up for this race due to his thumb injury. So we'll have to keep an eye and see what's up with him. But LeMay got the whole shot in this. Ryan Brees was right behind him. Ronnie Stewart had a great start, also up there. But
couple of yard sales happening in this starts.
Yeah, Ryan Brees totally face plants like at the beginning of that third corner, and then like at the end of that third corner, Ronnie Stewart fell. And yeah, that's too bad because obviously we were pulling for Ronnie. He was able to get going again, but
yeah, that was very unfortunate for him how he was able to get up front and then he just fell like right there. I'm like, oh, come on, Ronnie.
Yeah, it was such a great start, especially in the mud like that. Yeah, so also Harmon, he was in that third qualifying position whenever he fell. And we saw Bubba Pauly, he passed Gardner for second in this race. So Alex Ray, too, was able to work his way up through the pack and get up there. So Ben LeMay won this, Bubba Pauly got second, Alex Ray worked his way up to third, and Carlin Gardner got that fourth final transfer position.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to talk about Adam Entignap because he's done nothing, but at this point, you're 5 races in, going into your 6th week, you still haven't made it main. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen with him, HEP? Come on, 3 hearts? 3 broken hearts?
3 broken hearts. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if he can turn it around going into this East Coast season, but you would figure he has to qualify for something soon. Alex Ray and Kyle Chisholm both, I think both of them missed one, maybe, but they've been in every main.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing.
So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with him, see if he can turn things around next weekend in Minnesota. So let's go ahead and jump into this 450 main. This one was also shortened from 20 minutes plus a lap to 15 minutes plus a lap.
Exactly.
And there is one rider who we're going to get to. It still didn't benefit him. Could have used a couple less laps. Might have finished the race if it was like 5 minutes plus a lap. But we'll get into that. So anyways, starting this race, Roxon had a great jump. He had the whole shot with Eli right there, Baggett, Bogle, he starting to look really good. Roxon ends up going down though in that like second section there. He's able to keep it running and get it going, but he fell back to 5th pretty quick. Yeah. So that puts
Legend Chad Reed was also right there too with an Aaron Plessinger.
Exactly. So that puts Tomac out front, Bogle, Barsha. There was like 5 riders down on the other side of that track too whenever they were coming around.
Yeah.
There's just pileups everywhere. Everyone's fallen. A lot of position changes. No serious crashes. Just kind of tip overs and getting stuck and all that stuff. But yeah, like you said, Reed, Webb, Plessinger, Musquin, Seeley, they were all inside the top 10 right there.
Yep. Well, Webb all the way back in 8th place, but definitely making moves towards the front. Musquin, his teammate, back there as well, and they're both kind of moving up front. Barsha with a little bit of bike problems, and it looked like he was done for the night.
Yeah, a little bit of problems. You use underestimate. But yeah, he is the rider who we referred to at the beginning of this race. He did not make it very far in this moto at all, and he was done.
A lot of bad luck for this Yamahas in San Diego. They, we talked about it in our last podcast how Dylan Ferrandis also had a little bit of misfortune, and now, Justin Barsha. It's a contender for this championship, or was before this whole thing happened.
Yep.
With more problems. So very unfortunate for him.
It's crazy too. His bike did not make it far at all. Like Dylan Ferrandis was able to lap all the way up to 7th or 8th. He was able to lap all the way up there, and Justin Barsha was not. So 21st place for him.
Yeah. Right after that, Blake Baggett goes down and loses a couple of positions. After that, Cooper Webb goes down and taking a long time to get back up and going. I don't know if you saw the crash, but I think he got a little bit too much of that front brake, trying not to hit Marvin Musquin.
Yeah, and this is one thing that was crazy, because Webb, it was crazy to me that he was following Musquin so close. He's right behind Musquin, and he's taking the exact same lines as him, getting blasted in the face by his roost, and then he actually gets going after that first whoop or roller section, whatever you want to call it now. He got stuck in the rut right behind him. So that should have been a little sign to him to, not follow him, because he could easily pass him there if he would have taken a different line. And then
Cooper Webb was actually a little bit faster than Marvin Musquin, I want to say.
Yeah. And then, as we said, the same thing happened whenever they got into that rhythm section. Marvin Musquin got hung up in one of the ruts, and Cooper Webb was just so close behind him. He had to grab a handful of front brakes and went right over the bars.
Yeah. That's very unfortunate for your ex-points leader.
Yeah,
but
and he fell to 9th after that happened. So he went from running right up there in 5th to 9th. So lots of points there.
Yeah, Bogle with another mistake that leaves the door open for Roxon to take second place. Eli Tomac with a mistake, just to give us a little scare, just coming into the end of the race. But, it was nothing major. He managed to salvage it and keep on going.
Yeah,
and then a couple of turns after that, he makes another mistake, and you're like, come on, dude. Keep it together.
Yeah, it was a crazy couple moments there, because Tomac, he's 25 seconds out ahead over Roxon, and then he gets stuck on that tough block. The crowd is going absolutely insane, because it looked like he had a bike problem, just the way he was kind of moving
looking
that tough block
stuff
out of the way. So he lost 12 seconds or so there, and then Alex Ray falls right in front of him, and then whenever that happens, he stops and wipes his goggles and stuff. He was just riding with no urgency at all in that last lap.
Dude, you have 2 more laps. Hurry up or 2 more laps, 2 more turns. Hurry up and finish it. All I can think about was Motocross of Nations. That's all I can think about.
Exactly. So he was able to hold on to it. He was able to win this race. He totally dominated this race, led every single lap, all 12 laps. But it wasn't over yet, because Roxon got passed by Marvin in that last turn, right before the finish line right there.
Yeah.
So
we have to try to see if we can find that video to put it up in our Instagram at the MXSX podcast, because they didn't really show that pass. I actually had in my notes, whenever, I was like, oh, well, Eli, followed by Roxon and Musquin, and then I was like, oh, wait, what happened? So
Musquin just passed him literally right before the finish. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, so
he was mad. Musquin was happy. Roxon, not so much.
Oh, yeah. He looked very upset on the podium. Eli with the win, follow, like we just said, Musquin and Roxon for third. Eli takes the points lead. He takes the red place and the first win of the season. So things are looking up for Eli Tomac, I think.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And
it did finally come out. He did have a practice injury, and he didn't ride the entire month of December. So he's just still trying to like get his season started. And it looks like him and Adam Cincerulo, who we talked about in our last podcast, they're definitely the front runners in the 250 West and the 450 class.
Kawasaki sweeps both classes, which is, not seen since last time this happened. I think it was like 2016.
Okay.
And it happened by the two guys, Adam Cincerulo and Eli Tomac.
Whoa.
So, another thing that I thought it was kind of funny, they finally interviewed 4th and 5th place.
Yes. That's cool. Well, they had to. They ended the race freaking 5 minutes early for each one. So what else are they going to do?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they need something to burn more time. So.
But yeah, no, I did like that.
Yeah, but yeah, Eli Tomac took the win. Marvin Musquin got 2nd. Ken Roczen the 3rd. Justin Bogle, managed to finish the race, got 4th.
Finally looking like a factory rider. That's where the factory rider should finish, right there, 4th place.
Exactly. So Chad Reed, legend Chad Reed, who I said he was going to finish in 5th place.
Yep, good job there.
5th place.
I picked Aaron Plessinger to get 5th, and he got 6th. So
yeah,
I wish close.
So you know how they do like the Joker, or not the Joker, but like when they do the picks on the
the wild card.
The wild card, that's what it is. Like I feel like I could be pretty good, at that. Like I can see the wild card. And the wild card's got the most points, bro. That's where you win races right there.
That's right. But, so if you need any wild card advice, ask Claudio. Because you did nail Chad Reed getting 5th, and he did.
Yeah, just message me on MXSX podcast. I'll help you guys out. But Aaron Plessinger got 6th. Joey Savacci with 7th place. Joey Savacci actually looked pretty good in San Diego. Cooper Webb all the way down in 8th. Blake Baggett running with a lot of problems in 9th. Tyler Bowers in 10th. Freezy in 11th. Wilson outside the top 10, but still managed to finish the race and to be in the main event, which I think is the most important part here, in 12th place. Cole Martinez in 13th. Cole Seeley, not where we wanted him, but he ended up getting 14th. Ben LeMay 15th. Carlin Garner in 16th. Kyle Chisholm, after a great heat race, ended up getting 17th. Bubba Pulley in 18th. Kate Antonrieth in 19th. Alex Ray, another main for him, 20th. And then Justin Barsha, Heath Harrison, both with a DNF.
Yep, Justin Barsha with the DNF, Heath Harrison with the DNS. So, as we said, Eli Tomac dominated this race. He took the points lead. He'll be running the red plate next week in Minnesota. Marvin Musquin moves to 2nd place in the points. Ken Roczen is no more red plate Roczen, obviously, but he is in 3rd. Cooper Webb went from 1st to 4th. And actually, if I should mention, we have a tie for 2nd place between Musquin and Roczen. They both have 102 points, 4 points behind Eli, who has 106. And then Cooper Webb in, I don't know, I guess they call it 4th with 98. So, and they have a pretty good gap on Blake Baggett, who has 80 points. So those top 4 people really starting to pull away from Blake Baggett and Dean Wilson, who's in 6th, Barsha 7th, Plessinger 8th, Chad Reed 9th, Cole Seeley is your top 10.
A lot closer in this class when it comes to points, and there's still a lot of racing to do for these guys anyway. And going into the East Coast, a lot of people looking forward to it, and I'm very, very excited about it because they're coming to our coast of the things, and we can start watching races at 7 p.m.
Yeah, woohoo! All right, well, is there anything else we should add to this one?
No, just stay tuned for our next episode. We're working a couple things. We're going to have a lot of things for you guys for the East Coast, and make sure you check us out at MXSX Podcast. Remember, if you need any help with some wild cards, let me know.
There it is.
Peace.